So hi, if this is your first time at this channel, my name's Jonathan Martin, and I've been teaching academic writing at Helsinki University for more than 15 years now. And today I'm going to give you 5 more conventions related to academic writing. So, in the previous video I covered the top 5 conventions of academic writing, and today I'm going to cover the next 5. I think these 10 together cover pretty much everything you need to know to take your writing from being informal and unacademic to being formal and academic. Just as in the previous video, my method will be the same. I will present sentences. I want you to try to work out what is informal about it, and then when we see how it's fixed, hopefully it will stick in your mind a bit better. So let's get going. First one. When you are working in a factory, you have to work closely with the operators of that factory. So any idea what the informality is? It is the use of the word you. We don't use the word you. We don't talk to the audience or assume things about the audience when we write academically. So we might fix this by changing it to factory workers need to work closely with the operators of that factory. Okay, let's move on to another one just to get the idea. Today the computer can go with you in your pocket in the form of a smartphone. Again, it's the use of the word you. We could just make this more general. Today, people carry computers in their pockets in the form of a smartphone. So it's usually pretty easy to get rid of you. One more common example. You can clearly see from figure 2.1 that anxiety among teens has risen. So this is very common. We could fix this by taking you out of it. Figure 2.1 shows clearly that anxiety among teens has risen. So it's also shorter and clearer. So number 1 is avoid using you. There's really no need to use you in academic writing. We don't talk to the audience. We don't tell the audience what they think or what they can see. So Control F, Command F, type in you, and if you find one, find a way to eliminate it. Okay, on to number 2. Health records contain a huge amount of information that needs to be accessed easily but kept safe. So here the issue is the word huge. It's what I would call simplistic vocabulary. Words like huge, a lot of, thing, these are basic words, and we try to use more formal alternatives in academic writing. So in this example, we would just replace huge with large or significant. Let's look at another one. In some scenarios, programming a machine could take a lot of time. So here the issue is a lot of, and we could replace that with considerable or significant. One more example. This technology enables the creation of fake videos of people saying or doing things they never would. Now this is a more difficult one, but the issue is the word things, which is very vague, very basic. We might write, this technology enables the creation of fake videos of people speaking or acting in ways they never would. I would probably change the end of the sentence as well, but if we're just trying to replace things, that would be an elegant way to do it. So number 2, avoid using simplistic vocabulary, words like big, words like. Use large, significant, such as. There are always formal alternatives. Okay, let's go on to number 3. The gathered data consists of shares, likes, comments, mentions, etc. So what's the problem here? Well, it's the use of this run-on phrase, etc., also so forth. Those words don't usually add any information except to say, and more of the kind that I just said, but it doesn't tell the reader what the class is that they belong to. And often you can just say that these are examples. So for this example, it would be easiest to write, the gathered data includes shares, likes, and comments. So much cleaner. Another example. This refers to all manner of smart devices such as smart fridges, smart watches, cars, smart homes, etc. Now, the etc. Is completely unnecessary here because the such as shows that you are giving a subset of a larger set of things which are all smart devices. So really you're just giving examples. There's no need for the etc. There's no sense that you're giving the full set of examples. So you can just omit it. So number 3, avoid using run-on phrases like etc. and so forth. These words just really mask the fact that you are not clear in your own mind about what the class is that you are giving some examples of. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Machine learning does have its fair share of limitations and as such is ill-suited for many applications. So the issue here is the use of kind of idiomatic vocabulary. So fair share is not a it's an idiomatic phrase. So we would want to replace that with something more straightforward, clearer, more well-known, more formal. So we could say machine learning has several limitations. That makes more sense. Another one now. Jyrki Kontio argues that to keep the user's interest in mind, the user should be consulted on how AI is implemented, but that this is easier said than done. So this phrase, easier said than done, is kind of cliched. And we want to avoid any kind of idiomatic or cliched vocabulary. So we might say, if something's easier said than done, it means it's challenging, it means it's difficult. Okay, last example. This essay will shine a light on the vast potential of RNA vaccines to improve resistance to new variants. So the issue here is the phrase shine a light. We could say this essay will discuss, it will explain, it might illuminate. These are all better options here. So number 4, avoid using idiomatic or cliched vocabulary. That's maybe advice for writing in general, but it particularly applies to academic writing, where you're trying to communicate using broadly understood standards and clear language. Okay, let's get to our final one. Okay, the final one. Let's take a look at an example. Also, marketers can use this information to influence users' decisions. Now this is a grammatical issue, and the issue is the word also. Adverbs can often go in several positions, at the beginning, at the end, or in the middle of a sentence, and in formal academic writing, we tend to place them in the middle position. So here we would say marketers can also use this information to influence users' decisions. One more example. Originally, Kant was buried inside the cathedral, but in 1880 his remains were moved. So then we want to move the adverb originally from the beginning, place it in the middle position. Kant was originally buried inside the cathedral, but in 1880 his remains were moved. So the final one, put adverbs in the middle position. So adverbs like also can go at the start of the sentence. They can slightly clumsily go at the end of the sentence, but you want to focus on putting them in the middle position. So that rounds out the top 10 conventions of academic writing that you would need to internalize or master if you want to write more academically. So if you found this useful, please like and subscribe, and please do check out the other topics that I cover on my channel.